Okay, here's a description of how to use SOHCAHTOA to find the angle. So we have a triangle where we know the sides, and even if we only knew two of the sides, we could use Pythagorean theorem to find the third. All we know is that it's a right triangle, and we're trying to find the other two angles. So if we're looking at this angle, we know that this is the adjacent side, hypotenuse, and opposite side. So we could say something like the cosine of x degrees is 4 over 5. So if we write that out, cosine of x degrees is 4 over 5. And what that means is that the inverse, so this is the reverse process, inverse cosine of 4/5 equals x degrees. So you can if you're using the calculator, it's probably this inverse cosine. If you're using Desmos, it's going to be called arc cosine, which I think I showed you previously. And after typing that in, I think we're going to get 36.9 degrees. To find angle y, we could say, so with angle y, I'm going to write this in here, this will be good. So this is the opposite side, this is the adjacent side, and this is the hypotenuse. So again, what we call opposite and adjacent depends on what angle we're talking about. This side is adjacent to angle y. So for y degrees, we could say something like the, let's say, inverse tangent, or I'm sorry, so tangent of y degrees would be the opposite over the adjacent, so that would be equal to 4/3. Therefore, we could say that the inverse tangent of 4/3 is y. And after we solve, I think we're going to end up with 53.1 degrees, and this over here was 36.9. So if you solve this, something like this, there's sort of an easy way to check. We know that the angles of a triangle have to add up to 180, meaning these should add up to 90, which it looks like they do. So, good work. Okay, here's another example. So this is similar. This is another special right triangle, 5, 12, 13. And again, if we're talking about angle y, this would be adjacent, this would be opposite, this would be hypotenuse. So we could say something like tangent of y degrees equals 5 over 12. Oh, I'm going to pause there because I'm recording. Because the bell just rang, and finish up later. Right. Okay, and we're back. Where were we? Tangent. Oh, right. So if the tangent of y degrees equals 5/12, then the inverse tangent of 5/12 equals y degrees. And if we solve that, what are we going to get? Oh, yeah. Calculator or Desmos should say 22.6 degrees. And looking at the angle, that looks reasonable. When we go to solve for x, we could say something like cosine of x degrees. Now, if you know all the sides, I could have used cosine, I could have used sine, I could have used tangent. It's up to you. Cosine adjacent over hypotenuse, and for this angle, this is the adjacent, this is the hypotenuse. So we could say cosine of x degrees is 5 over 13. Therefore, the inverse cosine, or arc cosine, of 5/13 equals x degrees. And after typing into the calculator, 67.4 degrees is what we'll get. Notice how this plus this is 90 degrees, so it works.
Good work.